It's time for Mic'd Up. This is the time in the show we dedicate to hearing from unique and cool people doing some unique and cool things. Conversations, not sound bites. Today, Adam Longo shows us how Montgomery County is getting medieval with a very special drink. Here's the story of Clear Skies Meadery.
So this is a semi-sweet mead. You will smell the notes of honey in there.
Oh yeah. For wine, you need grapes. For beer, you need barley. And for mead, you need honey.
Most of our mead is as alcoholic as wine.
In the meat business, they ask me, are you selling meat? And I'm like, no, it's mead. Roll your tongue back.
We are in the Kentlands today in Gaithersburg, Montgomery County, Maryland, with Yancey Bodenstein. We are here at the Clear Skies Meadery. This is your place, you run it. What is a meadery?
Mead basically is the oldest fermented beverage that people have been enjoying.
Mead, for one, has an insanely long tradition. It's around 9,000 years old.
All right, lead the way. Jacob Latour, you're one of the mead makers here. This is a massive thing of honey that we've taken from the bees, and you've turned it into this delectable alcoholic beverage. Take me through the process, just in its most simple terms.
Sure. So basically all we're doing when we're making mead is mixing raw, unfiltered honey with just filtered water and then adding yeast to that.
What's your interest in mead? How far back does it go? Are you sort of like a geek into the weeds of it and everything?
Oh, I'm a total nerd. So I'm actually a chemist by training.
With Manisha Eigner now, who is the co-owner here of Clear Skies, what has drawn you to this type of business?
Like Jacob mentioned before, we all have a science background. I too have a science background.
Did you ever envision your future involved in alcohol, specifically in mead? Could you have ever thought that for yourself?
I actually never would have thought in my wildest dreams that I would be running a brewery or a meadery.
If it is the oldest sort of fermented alcohol beverage in the world, going back 9,000 years, why are people poking their heads in the door going, what is this? You know, why is wine and beer, why do they get all the love and you guys are just kind of coming on the map?
One of the big things is honey is insanely expensive. So it started coming out of style just because they found other grains, base grains, that were a lot cheaper to produce for alcohol. So barley is insanely cheap. So you can make a really cheap beer compared to mead, which takes months just to age out, and beer you can have ready in 4 weeks.
People who drink wine sometimes get headaches from the tannins. People who drink beer sometimes are gluten intolerant, they can't have beer. So they're looking for other avenues of having an alcoholic beverage.
I love my cherry blossoms. And one of the meads Yancey make, actually, which we call Blossom, is made of cherries.
Right as it's coming out, it looks exactly like cherry blossom color.
We steep the cherries in the mead with the pits. The pits give it an almondy note, and the combination of the cherry with the almond notes, there is no champagne in the world which can compete with that.
Oh, it's as if I'm taking a bath inside of a cherry blossom tree while drinking from its roots. Delectable.
When we opened our doors, we were the 4th meadery in the state of Maryland.
Okay.
And we are still the only meadery in Montgomery County.
Cheers, bring it in. Thank you all for having us here.
Cheers.
It was a real pleasure. Congratulations on the success.
Thank you.
Thank you much.
Wow. Now, my first question, Adam, is everything has an origin story,
Yep.
and then over time we get better at things, and we stop using, let's say leeches to try and make us feel better. So my first question is, what is the pro and con of mead? Like, what are the benefits of this?
Right. Well, the benefits is it's delicious. But the reason that a lot of people haven't heard about it, despite it going back 9,000 years and being the oldest fermented alcohol beverage, is that people just weren't doing it right. So you combine that with the fact that honey is so much more expensive than grapes and barley. That's why people are gravitating towards wine and beer instead of mead. So they're trying to bring it back. You'll find it out there. It's out there at a lot of like Renaissance festivals in places. And listen, if the bees knew about all the honey that they've got hoarded up in this place in the Kentlands. There'd be a January 6th style insurrection. They would storm the place and try to take it all back. But as you can see, we've got a little demonstration here. So the can that you have in front of you, that is the Meaderita. So that is their take on the margarita. So cheers, give that a try.
It looks like they got a cicada on the front of there too, apparently.
I guess it could be a cicada. I didn't even see that before. Yeah. So the origin story here too, back in 2003 when Yancey had a kid, his wife said, look, things are getting expensive. I know you like your beer, your special beer. Listen, it's going to be beer or diapers. That's how it's going to be. So he started brewing his own. Then ended up going to a Renaissance festival, tried mead and didn't like it. And his wife said to him, you're a chemist. Figure it out. So now they've been through this whole thing, renovations, planning to open. They opened in March of 2020. Like a couple of days before the pandemic just went and said, no, everybody closed their doors. So then they had to transition. They turned into a place that was actually being able to can the drinks. They were only supposed to be a tap room. And now they're talking about opening up a second location in Rockville. They're doing great.
What a beautiful relationship. I love the idea that it was either beer or diapers. He tries mead, doesn't like it. 99.999% of people would say, all right, I guess I'm going back to diapers. But she said, you're a chemist. Figure out a way to sell your own.
Yeah, and now he has the best of both worlds. Listen, we got this story through a tip. Reach out to me for any potential stories that you'd like to see us do here on Open Mic. You can find me there on all social media platforms. You can also email me, alongo@wsa9.com. I'm trying the Naughty Oak right now. That's what's in your cup there. Man, this is great.
Send you to the people that make St. Ides.